Today I'll be cooking a coconut fish, but for my first ingredient I'm going to collect is a bit of coriander. Some fresh coriander for tonight. Right, I am not going to use scissors for this. I'm going to be using my fingernails to pluck a bit of the basil bit here off, because you have to be very gentle when plucking it. Because you got to make sure to get that bit, not any other bit of it. You must always pick the flowering tip to stop it from going to seed. Right, I'm gonna now munch on a Busy Lizzie flower. You can add them into salads, or you could just have them like this. Right, I am going to pick one of our organically grown cucumbers. Here we go. Look at that monster, huh? There are 1 or 2 tomatoes ready, which I'm going to add in with the cucumber for our salad. And here are our tomatoes that we've grown. And here are some busy lizzies that I'm going to be adding in the salad as well. Right, I'm now going to go down into the undergrowth here and pluck out a courgette. I'm going to pluck this courgette here. Always make sure to cut the green bit here. So you don't cut the plant, you just cut the stem bit of the courgette to get it loose from the plant, so you don't damage the leaves. Just cut this bit here. Right, I'm plucking some oregano, and also to everyone watching, coconut fish is an Afro-Caribbean dish. It is very good and it's so easy to do. This is our wild oregano growing naturally in our fruit orchard here. Right, now I'm going to be dicing up these vegetables. Right, the vegetables I have for today's meal is 2 red peppers, okra, sugar snap peas, bitter gourd, aubergine here, and courgette and a leek. Right, now I'm adding in some of the sunflower oil here. Gotta make sure it's not too much or too little, just make sure it's just right. I'm now going to add a little sprinkle of the salt into the frying pan. Right, now I'm going to add in some of these Asian seeds. And I'll turn this down. Right, so many of these vegetables here take longer to cook than others. The first one I'm going to do is cut half of this bitter gourd here, and always cut that bit off because you never want that bit in a curry or any other meal you do. There we go. I make sure to dice them up again so they are smaller chunks so you don't get it too chunky in the meal. Now I'm going to add the bitter gourd. And now I'm going to get the next one, which is the aubergine here. You must always cut the bottom end here off, or if you start up here, cut the green bit here off, and then you just cut. I'm going to do half of it, but you can do how much of this you want when you're cooking an aubergine. And here is how much aubergine I'm going to be doing. Now I'm adding the aubergines into the frying pan. Now the courgette. Make sure to remove the stalk and then cut the rest of this up. I'm going to chop this 2 ways down and then, yeah, don't worry about that, and then chop like that. Next longest vegetable to do is the okra here. First I'm gonna line them up, because when you're doing this you've got to make sure to cut the end bit here off. The rest of this is edible, but that bit is not. So I'm gonna make sure they're all in alignment. And now, there is all the bits cut off now. Dicing the okra now. And if you look closely at them, they are a very unusual shape. In they go. Whilst you are dicing your vegetables, make sure to keep the frying pan here on a very low heat, because you do not want the whole meal to be burnt and ruined. Right, next is the peppers. You must always make sure to cut the middle bit here out, because you do not want the seeds in your meal. With any time you have a pepper, make sure you dice down this very far edge of this white membrane stuff here before you start dicing the next bit of pepper off, and then the final bit here you then cut all the way down, and finally it's out. With the peppers now. Next, I'm going to be dicing up the sugar peas here. In they go. Next is the leek. in go the leeks. Right, you're supposed to use spring onions in the coconut fish, but I'm actually using a leek because it's what we've got at hand. As this is an Afro-Caribbean meal, I'm going to be adding in these 2 Scotch bonnets. In goes the Scotch bonnet. Next, I'm going to be dicing up these garlic. First things first, always dice the bottom end here off. You don't want that in your meal. And then use the knife here to squish the garlic. And when it's squished, you can easily peel off the skin. Now I'm dicing up the garlic here. Really make sure it's all nice and thinned out because it helps with the meal plentiful. Goes the garlic. Right, when prepping rice, you do get either a cup or half a cup, depends on how many people you're doing it for. And then you put a bit of water into it, then you drain the water away from it and let it stand for so many minutes, 20 minutes. Right. Gonna open up this coconut milk here. Just be careful it doesn't splash everywhere, because I don't want it to go over the floor. And now pour it all in. Give it a stir. And now I'm going to add a tiny bit of water. Small pinch of turmeric here. And in that goes. And what? Excuse the noise that happened a few seconds ago. That was one of our cats knocking something over. Now I'm actually going to add in the fish. I'm putting in the fish whole, but you can dice it up if you want. You must make sure to submerge the fish into the meal so it can cook thoroughly. Now I'm going to add a lid onto this and make sure to keep it on a low temperature. I'm now going to put in the herbs I picked earlier and also add in some dill. Go all the herbs. And now mix it in. Right, I've now filled this up with water now. I'm going to add this onto the back ring over here. And the most important thing, you must do about 3 tiny pinches of salt into the rice here to help it out. I've taken the lid off now to let it simmer for a bit so most of the liquid can boil away. I'm now going to be dicing up this cucumber that I got in my garden for the salad to go with the coconut fish. next bit for the salad, I'm going to be dicing up these organically grown tomatoes now. I'm going to cut them 2 ways. And sometimes I can do it all in one, but sometimes I can do it like this. Right, when the rice starts to bubble like it is doing there, you must make sure to turn it down to a low heat. So this is now at the right consistency. I can add this as well as the rice here into a bowl. I'm tipping in the rice here and making sure it's nice and neat near to the edge of the bowl here so it's not too overflowing. Next, I'm adding in the coconut fish here to the bowls. I'm going to put it in an angle so I can actually get the coconut fish into it. Get so much into this bowl at first. Next, do a bit for my bowl. And then the rest back into this bowl. And that is done. So now I'm adding on these Busy Lizzie flowers that I had plucked in the vegetable garden. I'm going to decoratively put them on. So you do want to make sure your salad looks quite decorative all along with your curry. I mean your coconut fish here. So I hope you liked today's video. Please like and subscribe. Make sure to press the little me so you can see some of my other videos that I have done. And see you next time.